All right, before I start, a lot of you guys know I'm Jamaican, so I wanted to actually say rest in peace to a great Jamaican singer, John Holt. He passed away today at 69. It was some timeless music that I grew up to, so I just want to take a little time out to pay my condolences. All right, let's look at the markets. SPY. We see the volume declining, haven't gotten back up to here. I think patience is the key. We see a break of a low either today or tomorrow. I think we could get a move to continue into the downside because volume is drying up. Again, you missed this move. This was craziness. So if you missed it, that's fine. But again, you don't want to just short anything. And I think a break of a low looks like we could continue to go to the downside because again, you're having these moves up, and that's fine. But there's no juice. There's no juice whatsoever. QQQ. Same thing. We see the volume has really come down, and instead of looking at this pivot, so let me just actually take this off. I'm looking more at this. See how far it can get up to here, and it hasn't gotten. You see the volume is not saying much at all, and that's what we've been staring at to make sure that we're kind of getting this thing right. Same thing here. Excuse me. Lower high again. This one I'm not really sure about because the volume is dying off as well, but I definitely want to see a break of these lows and we could continue to the downside. Diamond, same thing. Volume is going to bed. It's not doing much. So really be cautious right now going longs at all. And I'm actually looking more into the short side than anything. Apple continuing higher. They had earnings and I think they beat, but again, earnings. I wait and see what happens in the morning because again, it could be bipolar madness. Actually, it could be down or up $10. Next thing you know, in the morning, it's down. People are more gambling. If you're gambling, just understand it's lotto. It's Vegas, and just treat it accordingly. Okay. GoPro actually looks better for the short. Look how much this volume is dried up. It looks like it's getting to these previous levels, and looks like it'd be a good short setting up. Quite honestly, Disney. Again, the volume is going down. Netflix. Netflix look like it continue high. I'm not one of those guys that buy the blood. I'm not. I never want to say to myself, this could not go in. Just because you see this gap, you're saying, oh, this gap could fill because, you could have said this on the gap up. So, oh, the gap would have filled, and you'd have to wait. What is it? This was the end of January. It came back to fill it at the end of March. So you missed all this move to say it had to fill, and we could go back in time a little bit and you can see that this gap has not filled yet. So again, oh, I don't want to get in because it gapped up. Don't make sure you look at where it's happening. It still hasn't filled this one as yet either. So it might come back and fill it now. But I mean, again, are you gonna? When was this? When was these gaps? This gap was last January. So I mean, and then it gapped up again. So you're like, shit, it's two gaps. What should I do? It never came and filled them. Okay, so then you had another gap up. So don't get too harped on that gap. Make sure you're just looking at the price action accordingly. Price line. Again, the volume is dying down, so it needs to get above this level to me to really say, okay, we're starting to look at something, or at least give a higher low or something like that. And it hasn't done that, so you got to just be really cautious. Twitter volume, everything. The volume is just not, it's just not doing it. It's just not like giving that oomph, and some people might say, oh, it's even the option stuff. Okay, that's fine. You look at the volume, and I won't knock it because I don't do it doesn't mean that I'm gonna knock it because that's like me saying I know everything, and then you're just a dick. So I'm not a dick. So I'm a person that's gonna actually look and say, you know what, that makes sense, or you know what, there's different ways to skin the cat, and that's your style. That's the thing about this. It's emotions. You got to just understand. IBM shit the bed. Okay, so we see that huge gap down, and it recovered a lot. I was expecting the Dow Jones to really, not do that well, and it ended up being okayish. Tesla still volume was nothing today. So I don't know what the hell is going on, but again, if they could float it up a little more, but somebody better do something. Turn on back the pipe or something, because the volume is dying, and when the volume is dying on the retracements, that's when we're looking. Because if it's going up, then we say the volume's going down. Okay, they're just waiting for another higher low, and we could get back in the thing. And of course, there's more to that. It's not just as simple as that. But when you have the volume dying down like this, it's showing that the bulls aren't really, and they still got a lot of, you got a lot of space to go from this gap down. So let's see how this one plays out, and go. But again, be careful with this stuff going on here. I mean, you have Google. We'll use the L. This isn't out the woods yet. I mean, it's not even close to being out the woods. I mean, you're talking about up here. Even say this 1 bar pullback, maybe. I don't even know if I would count that. These things happen. Inside bars, downdraft can break and continue to break down. But this is not anything to say, all right, I'm looking to go long. Again, if you're the buy the blood guy, that's fine. But I'm not going to paint the town red with my fucking blood. You must be out your mind. So just keep that in mind and just say, listen, this is a short-term downtrend, and we're going to keep, treat it as such. And this is obvious, level here, but again, this doesn't have to hold. It doesn't have to hold. And if you really want it, it could go down here. Why not? And again, I'm not going to guess where it's going to go, but I know that this price action going into it was more saying, okay, and we've talked about, we showed the grinding sideways, not doing anything. So it gave a lower high, and boom, it went down. So keep that stuff in mind and trade accordingly, but be cautious going longs. And patience is probably one of the most underrated, probably the most valuable tool you could have in your arsenal of trading. Is, can you wait for the trade to set up? Or are you just looking for action? Can you say, today there wasn't much to do, I'm fine with that? Or do you say, shit, the market's open, so I gotta be doing something? If you could wait for your high probability setups, and actually, let them, and then when you wait all that time, just don't take the damn profits after 10 cents, then, you got some good things on. You keep these things, most people don't talk about this stuff. They just, breakout, scalp, scale at the first sign of green, because, they just wait for your setup, okay? And if again, wait for your setup. Wait for your setup. Patience pays in this game. Take care.